This video aims to deliver a comprehensive analysis of the MH370 ACARS report, providing in-depth insights and examination of its details. The printed ACARS report primarily includes messages exchanged between Malaysian ground operations and the aircraft. Firstly, from the aircraft itself, this includes position reports, messages from pilots, such as requests for gate numbers, maintenance issues detected by the aircraft. Then from Malaysian ground operations, this includes flight plans, e.g., Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Messages, such as providing destination gate numbers, or sending urgent requests to the crew during abnormal situations, for instance, when air traffic control is unable to contact the aircraft. And transmission of load sheets to the flight crew. For MH370, communications were conducted through two separate methods: terrestrial communication, via the SETA VHF ground stations, and satellite communications using the space-based Inmarsat system. The printed ACARS traffic log from the Malaysian safety report appears to have been modified. We have identified 8 separate issues that support this conclusion. The first anomaly is that the copyright symbol is incorrectly positioned on 8 of the 14 pages of the report. This misplacement would only occur if the report had been modified. This is the second anomaly. Approximately 42 minutes after MH370 disappeared from civilian radar, the Malaysia Airlines Operations Department sent a satellite text message requesting the flight crew to contact air traffic control. However, since the satellite terminal was presumably not powered on, the message was not delivered. If the first message does not get through, the system tries several times to resend the message. The printed ACARS report derives its data from the satellite log, so the number of message retry attempts should match between the two. However, this is not the case. The ACARS report indicates a total of 6 attempts, whereas the satellite log records only 2. In summary, the discrepancy between the number of entries in the satellite log and the ACARS report suggests that the data may have been modified. For the third anomaly, we observed that the name of the airline employee who sent the message to MH370 has been redacted from the report. While we have no issue with this redaction, it does again indicate that the report has been modified. The fourth anomaly reveals that the page numbers and date fields have been modified. We will now present the footers of all 14 pages, allowing you to observe the font changes in the edited sections. To make these changes more visible and clearly indicate where the report has been modified, we have highlighted the altered areas in red. It appears that this report was compiled from 2 separate sources, with the first page originating from one report and the remaining 13 pages from another. Once again, this strongly suggests that the report has been modified. This is the fifth anomaly. We will now show further evidence indicating that the report was compiled from 2 separate sources and later edited together. When generating the report, the user has the option to apply a filter or run it without one. In this case, the first page indicates that no filter was applied, while the remaining pages show that a filter was used. However, it is not possible to generate a report with a mix of both options. Either a filter is applied to the entire report, or it is not applied at all. The top red arrow points to the first page, which was generated without a filter, while the bottom red arrow highlights one of the subsequent pages that includes a filter. The first page, without a filter, means that all transactions are included, covering both VHF communications and satellite communications. The subsequent pages, which apply a filter using Q, X, S, M, X, and S, result in only transactions from the satellite communications channel being selected. This inconsistency further suggests that the report was compiled from multiple sources and then edited together. This is the sixth anomaly. It is evident that the report is a combination of 2 separate reports, as it contains duplicate transactions ID 468179161 and ID 468179164. These duplicate entries appear on the first 2 pages of the report, further suggesting that the document has been compiled from multiple sources. It is evident that the report is a compilation of 2 separate reports that have been edited together. The Malaysian Safety Report states that ACARS messages were sent every 2 minutes until 1843. However, the log only extends until 1815, leaving a 28-minute gap in the data. This is yet another discrepancy in the Malaysian Safety Report, as it does not align with the provided data. This is the 8th anomaly. Several years after the ACARS report was released as part of the official investigation, another version of the report surfaced. This new report included the previously missing 28 minutes of ACARS transactions. In addition to revealing that transactions were redacted from the original report, the newly surfaced report also showed that the last unsuccessfully sent message to MH370 was transmitted via the VHF channel. Previously, the aircraft had been using the SATCOM channel. The only way its avionics could have switched to a VHF communication channel is if the aircraft successfully logged on to a SITA VHF ground station sometime after 1839 Universal Time Coordinated. If this had occurred, it would have been recorded by the SITA system. However, no such log was included in the official report. If the aircraft had successfully logged on to a SITA ground station, the logged data would have provided the following information: the time of the logon, the flight ID and registration of the aircraft. The satellite log would likely contain details of the SATCOM logoff, and the location of the ground station. The location of the ground station could help confirm whether the aircraft was approximately where investigators believed it to be at that time, i.e., over the Andaman Sea rather than in an entirely different location, such as Vietnam. This technical synopsis explains how an aircraft using the ACARS system transitions from SATCOM to VHF channels. The aircraft's avionics must first detect and receive a high-quality signal from a ground-based SITA VHF station. Then the aircraft must successfully log into the SITA system via the detected VHF ground station. Once the login is completed, the SITA system records the transaction. The transmission of a message via the VHF communications channel was likely the reason this transaction was redacted from the initial 2018 ACARS report, and why the 8 modifications were needed to achieve this. In other words, it would not make sense to release a report showing a switch from SATCOM to VHF, unless there was a corresponding SITA log to support this event. After the "Please contact Ho Chi Minh" message fails to be transmitted to the aircraft via the SATCOM channel, the system retries via the VHF channel. It seems that the first attempt using the VHF channel is missing the "failed notification" message from the ACARS report. It appears that during the third attempt using the VHF channel, the "failed notification" message is missing the previous uplink from the ACARS report. It is not general practice to modify data used in air accident investigations. However, we believe it is quite clear that multiple modifications have been made to the ACARS report, including edits to page numbers and dates, mismatch between retransmission attempts and the satellite data, removal of the employee's name from the report, font inconsistencies, indicating edits, report generated with conflicting filter selections, one with a filter, one without, duplicate transaction numbers appearing in the report, 28 minutes of missing transactions. A later released report showing an unexplained switch to the VHF communications channel.
Thanks for watching. For more information, please click on the links below. Please do subscribe to our channel and click the like button and share our video.